The Ruthless Muafa!
So into the arena steps Christopher Muafo. 29 years of age is the man from Cameroon, resides in Switzerland, nicknamed the Ruthless. Brings a 12-fight professional record through the boxing ring. 11 wins, just one solitary loss, and 6 of those wins coming inside the distance. 6-fight winning streak since that sole reversal. That coming back in April of 2023. And has boxed extensively in Switzerland since that time, his last starting in February of this year, coming in Kigali. So no stranger to boxing on the road. His most recent outing
Добро пожаловать
in Rwandan
в
capital.
золотой угол ринга. Обладатель чемпионского пояса из Таджикистана. Бахадур Усамбонов.
Well, once again, the home fans are showing out and showing love for one of their own, because into the arena with his hat to the back steps Bakadur Usmanov. Outstanding boxer in the 3-round format of the IBA code. World Championship bronze medalist in Tashkent, Uzbekistan a couple of years ago. I was ringside to commentate on that tournament. Absolutely sensational operator. Represented Tajikistan at the Olympic Games as well. Perfect on the IBA stage and an undefeated 10-0 in the professional ranks. His most recent outing coming in May of this year right here at the Tennis and Water Sports Complex, where he scored a third-round knockout
Супервайзер
to take
Сергей
that
Хурсанов.
IBA
Судью ринга
Intercontinental title that he
оценивают
defends
главное
tonight.
событие. Дмитрий Болдырев, Сергей Журкин, Игорь Бещук. Ваш судья-хронометрист Нияз Мир Папаев. И с ударом гонга рефери в ринге Семен Стахеев. Итак, дамы и господа на трибунах, миллионы фанатов бокса во всем мире в прямом эфире с арены Дворца тенниса и водных видов спорта. Турнир «Главное событие вечера» Винлайн IBA Pro! Представляю вам соперника. И первым претендента в черном углу ринга. Ему 29 лет, рост 170 сантиметров, вес 61 килограмм ровно. Его профессиональный рекорд – 11 побед, включая 6 побед нокаутом и только одно поражение. Дамы и господа, он чемпион WBO Global в легком весе, представляющий Биль Швейцария, родом из Камеруна. Приветствуйте, Кристофер The Ruthless Muafa! А вот и его соперник в золотом углу ринга, обладатель чемпионского пояса. Ему 27 лет, рост 174 сантиметра, вес 61,5 килограмма. Его прекрасный профессиональный рекорд – 10 побед, включая 5 больших побед нокаутом и ни одного поражения, дамы и господа. Он чемпион Азии 2019, призер чемпионата мира, обладатель пояса WBA 2025 и действующий чемпион IBA Pro Intercontinental в легком весе из Душанбе, Республика Таджикистан. Приветствуйте, Бахадур Усамбонов!
So Mr. Semyon Stakiev with the final instructions as we take a look at the tail of the tape between Bakhador Usmanov and Christopher Moafo. The IBA Intercontinental title on the line. Bakhador Usmanov wearing the white trunks trimmed with gold, looking to defend the title that he secured so impressively on his last outing here at the Tennis and Water Sports Palace in Dushanbe. It's scheduled for 10. It's a contest made at 61.2 kilograms. It's practically the lightweight limit, just inside the 135 pound or 9 stone 9 lightweight limit. A few ounces inside. You see Moafo just seeking to establish his left jab, slightly shorter of the two boxers. Seeking to just gauge the distance with his own lead left, but Usmanov is a really skillful operator, capable of boxing in so many ways, as we see him varying the height on that jab to the body, countered immediately by a jab downstairs by Moafo. Nice left hand to the chest and right hand to the rib cage from Moafo. Turn the right hook around the corner. Mention the fact that he's rattled off 6 wins without reply since that lone reversal taking place in Bern in Switzerland. WBO global titleist. He secured that in September of last year. And what those multiple titles do, as is the case in IBA Pro Boxing, as Moafo lands a good right hand to the body, they get you on the radar for bigger titles. Continental titles, intercontinental titles, things of that nature, whichever designation you have or sanctioning body you have to be boxing for, as Usmanov goes in search of the left hand and then drops it down to the body beautifully, turns the palm to the ring lights to score with a left hook just above the belt line, brings the jab back upstairs. That is the value of those titles, stepping stones often for grander things, and gets the fighter used to being a champion, in possession of that belt, and stokes their hunger because they want bigger belts and the bigger attendant prizes that goes with it in this sport of boxing. Prize fighting. The bigger the fight, the bigger the prize. Nice left jab being established by Usmanov now, but Moafo clearly demonstrating that he knows his way around the boxing ring, but you can see now the taller man, Usmanov, just beginning to establish that long left hand and keep Moafo on the end of it. Another left jab shoots through the gap over the low-held hands of the Cameroonian boxer based in Switzerland. So it was a bright start by Moafo, but Usmanov, the more we have gone into the round, is just began to control things for my money with that lead left. Nice movement to avoid the jab from Moafo. Terrific quality and evidence during the course of that opening round. So moving to the second round, as well as that World Championship bronze where I had the privilege of being ringside at the magnificent Demo Arena in Tashkent to see him occupy the bronze medal rostrum, with both men starting brightly to begin this second round. After being put on the end of jabs, Moafo responding with combinations downstairs of his own. Now he's looking to bring the uppercut into play. Usmanov really determined to put his man on the end of that lead left stick and keep him beyond his own punching range, given the disparity in height and reach between these two boxers. But that World Championship bronze was always on the radar of fans who follow IBA boxing, because Usmanov claimed 2019 Asian Championship gold at the 2019 edition in Bangkok. Ever present the following 2 editions on the medal rostrum, taking bronze in Dubai in 21 during the COVID lockout and 2022 in Oman. And now Usmanov seeking to go through the gears once again. Nice parry block with the right glove from Moafo, knocking down that incoming offense from Usmanov, who's just electing to drop that left hand while he was out of punching range to vary the angle of arrival from that lead left hand. And look how busy he is with it. And Moafo, well, he's got his hands full trying to deal with that. You see him trying to counter, nice head movements as he engaged reverse gear and allowed those shots to go over his shoulder. But a beautiful double left hand, body, then an uppercut to the head from Usmanov. And then bringing the right uppercut into play as well. Terrific tempo being set beyond the halfway stage of this second round by Usmanov. Moafo, all the credentials that he and ability that he brings to the ring. No panic evident in his body language, but he's going to have to begin to try to respond. There's a nice counter jab. You see how it landed with a bent arm from Moafo. But now seeking to get him back on the end of the straight lead left stick. Oh, beautiful double left hand from Usmanov. Body then head. It was a hook to the body, an uppercut to the head. Really eye-catching work with the lead hand, and again he continues to remain incredibly active with it, snaking it out repeatedly. Jab, then an uppercut, then a right cross over the top. And Moafo, there's a solid left jab from him. He's in the contest, but he's got to do more as he has his chin checked by a right hook out of the orthodox stance, then a right hand slung into the body in a bid to bring those hands down by Usmanov. Inaccurate was Moafo in response. But this is really clever boxing being produced by Usmanov. And Moafo, there he scores with a left jab during the course of a combination. The follow-up was inaccurate, but at least he's showing competitive spirit and letting Usmanov know that this is anything but one-way traffic. Terrific round of boxing. I happen to think the greater punch output and accuracy of the work from Usmanov is enough to take it, but Moafo continuing to show him that he is up for the fight with some moments of quality of his own. Good round. So we move into the third round. It's scheduled for 10. Usmanov back in the ring for the first, as recent, after having been in there as recently as May, stopping Albert Paraga of the Philippines in the third round to claim that IBA Intercontinental Lightweight crown. Moafo was last in the ring in February, as mentioned, in the Rwandan capital, Kigali. There's a nice left hook, followed up by an attempted right and another left hook by Moafo. But after the final 2 shots were inaccurate, he was put on the ropes and worked over effectively to both head and body by Usmanov. And again, Usmanov seeks to impose his physicality and keep Moafo on the end of his punches. Wonderful left hand slung into the body that dipped Moafo's knees momentarily. But again, he's showing his competitive spirit. Fights his way out of the corner, gets back to the space of center ring, and continues to go in search of his own offense. But he's finding a dynamic figure in front of him in the form of Bakadir Usmanov, whose punch output has been unrelenting for the first 2.5 rounds of this contest scheduled for 10. Moafo trying to answer, but inaccurate once again. The left hand continuing to be snapped out into his face. There's the right cross, but then good work to both body and head from Moafo. But you see, having the first and final word is Usmanov going through the gears beautifully, almost threatening to push Moafo through the ropes, but he got himself off the strands, back to the space of ring center, but he's being touched up repeatedly by this trip hammer of a lead left hand beyond the halfway stage of round number 3. And Usmanov is setting a terrific pace in this lightweight contest. There's a low blow that threatened, that did indeed stray low. The referee, Mr. Seymour Stakiev, on that infringement in an instant. No complaints from Moafo. But again, he's continuing to be fed a steady stream of leather here. There he has his own success. Now he finds himself on the ropes once again, and Usmanov seeks to capitalize on his position of confinement. Nice two-shot combination from Moafo. But he's not being given any room to think or set or breathe by Usmanov. Non-stop punch output being produced by the 2023 World Championship bronze medalist. Beautiful right hand lead slung into the body by Moafo. Goes in search of a jab, couldn't find a range. Left hook to the body is a nice counter shot from Moafo. Comes back with a left jab of his own. So Moafo at times punching with Usmanov. Oh, and there's a left hook that wasn't too far away. Because when he's going in search of his own offense, when Usmanov isn't punching, he's often inaccurate, and then finding Usmanov come straight back. But when he elected to punch with him, he had some real success, particularly with his left hook to the body. Good response and intelligence shown by Christopher Moafo. So moving to the 4th round. Moafo seemingly making an adaptation to punch with Usmanov during the closing stages of that 4th round, and he had real success, particularly with his crisp left hook to the body. Right uppercut brought into play by Moafo, but it found the space had been vacated by Usmanov, who's seeking to establish that left jab once again, operating out of a different posture now, more flat-footed, hands held high. As I say that, he gets back onto his toes, and look at how he was able to touch Moafo repeatedly with that left jab. There's a nice counter left hook from Moafo, but then having the final word, shooting punches in between the high-held gloves of Moafo, is Usmanov. He's doing a really good job as the two men exchange left hooks downstairs. Moafo's was really eye-catching as he leaned over to his left and drove in the left hand with the palm turned upwards. But then again, it's Usmanov ensuring that he goes first and last. Of course, this is boxing. When you're in with a competent operator, as Usmanov continuing to vary the height of his jab nicely, that's just competitiveness. Roy Jones Jr. often said if you hit him once, he wants to hit you twice. If you hit him twice, he wants to hit you 6 times. During the course of his glittering career, and now it's Usmanov with Moafo pinned to the ropes. He's contemptuously grinning that gum shield, but he was scored upon to the body. Now he's trying to distract Usmanov, but he's too professional for that. Left hand to the body from Usmanov. He's countered by a left hook to the head from Moafo, showing that he's still competitive, but he lost that portion of the round because he was outworked effectively by the accurate offense of Usmanov. Beautiful combination to both body and head again from Usmanov. Impressive variety being shown by the 2019 Asian champion. Continuing to adjust to life in the professional ranks. Made his debut after his Olympic appearance, before his Olympic appearance in Tokyo, coming in December 2020. So he's switched the two codes effectively, as so many of the elite IBA operators do, but it's Usmanov. Busier boxer once again. While he was caught on the inside, Moafo was in search of him with left hooks. Couldn't find the range. Nobody with that right hand lead. Moafo finding himself on the ropes once again. Clever counter left hook from Moafo, but not until after he was scored upon with a greater number of punches from Usmanov. Another good round of boxing, and the pattern that has been established continuing here at the Tennyson Water Sports Palace, as Moafo clearly knows what he is doing. Beautiful exchange of body shots between these two skillful operators, but I just think that Usmanov, his greater volume, is giving him these rounds. So, wants to pick up the pace and work with, or indeed outwork, Bahadur Usmanov. So into the fifth round then, it's a lightweight contest scheduled for 10. Usmanov eliminated in the round of 32 at last year's Paris Olympic Games. Inside to commentate on that tournament, it was Vladislav Rozenov who bested him. But to give you an idea of the man from Bulgaria's abilities, he holds the win over Erislandy Alvarez, a man who went on to claim Olympic gold in Paris last year. That is the type of caliber that is often being showcased on IBA Pro nights. This is IBA Pro 8 back in Tajikistan once again. One of Tajikistan's favorite fighting sons from right here in Dushanbe finds himself in a competitive match. It's a match I think he's winning as we approach the halfway stage, as he lands a beautiful right hand left hook in a reverse 1-2. But he's in against Christopher Moafo, WBO global lightweight title. Again, that's a stepping stone belt en route to world honors. The men are producing a compelling spectacle so far. Counter left jab not too far away from Moafo. He offers the low held hand guard now. Hands up, back around his temple, takes a jab to the body in between his elbows, counters with a jab of his own after being scored upon to the body. But you see the greater volume continues to come from Bahadur Usmanov. Wonderful variety with the lead left hand, again scoring upstairs and downstairs. Seeking to answer was Moafo, but rather inaccurate with his attempted response. Well, he really isn't being left alone here. Christopher Moafo always finding leather in his face, and Bahadur Usmanov in his presence. And because of the height advantage that Usmanov enjoys, he can often be in his own punching range, which is beyond the wheelhouse of the more compact boxer from Cameroon. Nice use of the legs from Usmanov to increase the gap between himself and Moafo. Moafo going in search of a left-right to the body, but couldn't find the target. As Usmanov steps back in on flat feet and scores with the left-right upstairs, then a left hook to the body followed by a right hand beneath the left elbow. Moafo responds with a right hand to the body, went in search of a left hook upstairs, inaccurate, and then it's in Usmanov's punching range, but beyond that of Moafo. Now he gets back into mid-range and scores with a left hook to the body. Counter left hook from Moafo is an effective shot. The roundhouse right is inaccurate from Moafo. But a very good round of boxing once again, but once more I think it's a repeat of what has gone before, in that the greater volume of punches, the more consistently landed punches coming from Bahadur Usmanov. So into the second half of this contest we go. 5 rounds completed, a scheduled 5 rounds remain. It's lightweight action, made at 61.2 kilograms, which is just under the lightweight limit of 135 pounds. And so far, for my money, the man in white who just resumed the same pattern once again. There's greater activity. Must have him ahead on the scorecard. At least that's how I see it from our commentary position here at the Tennis and Water Sports Palace. But Moafo move into the second half of the contest. Perhaps aware of that, there's a wonderful corkscrew left hand from Usmanov. He has come out with more urgency, quickening the tempo in this 6th round. And there is a good combination of punches upstairs and downstairs, followed by a final salvo up to the head from Moafo. Usmanov answers immediately, using that piercing left jab once again. Nice movement in the pocket from Usmanov, rolling at the waist to cause the shot from Moafo to go over his head. And then it's in and out with the feet once more from Usmanov. There's a beautiful thrusting jab to the body from Moafo. And another one, but he's countered by a left uppercut from Usmanov. So what can Moafo do to sustain these attacks? He's picked off by a left jab once again. Tries a flashy counter right uppercut, but was off the mark, and it's Usmanov with an eye-catching left hook to conclude that combination. Then a sumptuous left hook down to the body from Usmanov. Then bringing uppercut through the middle. The hands of Moafo momentarily coming down. You can see he's in terrific condition, as is Usmanov. But again, Moafo quickening his feet now, getting over that front foot, working effectively to the body, inaccurate to the head. So would he be advised to try and target the body of his taller opponent? Good double right hook out of the orthodox stance, and then keeping the combination going is Usmanov. Right hand lead wasn't too far away from Moafo. Goes in search of a left uppercut, which was inaccurate, but the right cross which followed was right on the money. Beautiful spearing jab once again from Usmanov in between the high-held gloves of Moafo. Moafo standing flat-footed at center ring. Good jabs to the body from Moafo as he pours forwards. But again, he's met by Usmanov and picked off as he sought to retreat. Well, it's a competitive contest this, but I find it very difficult to score the round in favor of Moafo, because as competitive as he's been, as crisp as his work has been, Usmanov has demonstrated all of those qualities, but just more of them in every completed round so far. So Moafo very much in the contest, but I'm not convinced that he's doing enough to win the contest, because this man's punch output has been unrelenting. Round 7. That's a nice right hand to the body from Moafo. Now, did it stray around the rear to make it an illegal punch, kidney punch. Nice left jab, the stabbing variety from Moafo, but then look at that response, jabbing to the head, working down to the body before coming back up to the head from Usmanov. So the quality that Moafo possesses clear for all to see, but he just hasn't been able to demonstrate it quickly enough, and that is down to the man in front of him, Bakhtir Usmanov, who has not given him any time to set. Look at that variation of the jab once again, up and down to both body and head. Right hand over the top, threatening to strain to rabbit punch territory from Moafo, but again, that's from good movement from Usmanov. Sporting touch of gloves, the action resumes, and it's Usmanov incessantly working behind that lead left hand once again. Exchange of jabs. See Moafo just force Usmanov to back up. Now he comes forward, doubling up the jab. And look at the non-stop movement from Bahadur Usmanov, who is utilizing the space of the ring beautifully, wading attack with a left and then a right hand to the body beneath the left hand, the left elbow of Moafo. So can Moafo turn these cameos of quality into more consistent success? Easier said than done, of course, because the man in front of him simply does not stop moving as he scores with another left jab to the body just a few moments ago. Counter left jab is an effective shot from Usmanov, and then turning that jab into a hook. Inaccurate with the right hand over the top. Moafo altogether closer with the left hand that followed to the body. What a right hand from Christopher Moafo, and it dipped the knees of Bahadur Usmanov. Christopher Moafo with his best shot of the entire contest, catching Bahadur Usmanov as he was advancing. It doubled up the impact, and the man from Tajikistan had his knees dipped. Now he's back beyond punching range, allowing his head to clear. Did Moafo recognize to the extent to which he seemed to buzz the man, keeping his shape nicely, remaining disciplined, but that his best shot of the entire contest, and it gives us the most dramatic interlude we've had as Usmanov, seeking to back away from the incoming fire, finds his head in between the ropes. That, of course, illegal. Closing 20 seconds of this 7th round. Looking for the right hand once again was Moafo. This time it strays around the rear of Usmanov's neck. Then he gets another right hand through. Usmanov trying to respond with shoeshine punches. Beautiful defenses with the gloves from Moafo. Left jab is the final shot of the round from Christopher Moafo. His best round of the contest, courtesy of a beautifully picked overhand right, which checked the chin. There it is. And look at how it disrupted the boxing stance of Bahadur Usmanov, the 2023 World Championship bronze medalist. That is the threat that Moafo possesses. We've admired his ring craft and his skill set throughout this contest, but we're of the opinion that there simply wasn't enough of it in comparison to the non-stop work being produced by Bahadur Usmanov. But that one moment of quality hasn't quite turned the tide of the contest, but that will surely give him encouragement and inspiration with 3 rounds of boxing scheduled to remain. So we move into round number 8. Christopher Moafo landing his best shot of the entire contest, perhaps the best single shot from either man in this affair. And that's not to negate from what they've done so far, because the combination from each of them has been a joy to behold. Left, right to the body from Moafo, and the body punching in particular has been a delight. There's another right hand over the top from Moafo, which got Bahadur Usmanov's attention. He had to cover up, skit away. And Moafo, well, you'll know that his right hand can do damage here now. Shaking out that right arm. Is Usmanov okay? There, well, the way he's thrown that right hand, it seems to be okay. We're just stretching out that elbow momentarily. Approaching a minute gone in this 8th round. Moafo in search of the right hand once again. He won't want to become right hand happy. Beautiful 2-shot combination, then spinning off the line. A little gentleman's agreement between the two boxers there. I think Usmanov felt that he was hit low, so they just stood off. That's a right hand driven into the body, right uppercut, left hook from Usmanov. His wonderful combination punching. And now Usmanov, if he was momentarily stunned by that overhand right, my goodness, hasn't he got his wits back about him now? Because the non-stop movement has returned, as has the wonderful shot selection, as evidenced in that combination there. And Moafo, in comparison, is he perhaps putting his store into a single shot against a man like this, who isn't holding his feet at all? It's going to be very difficult to catch cleanly. Is Usmanov. He wasn't too far away with a left hook, Moafo. There he goes for the big overhand right once again, but it went long over the shoulder of Usmanov. There's the right hand success once more. So twice in 2 rounds, Moafo has found a range with his trusty backhand, and it's certainly got Usmanov's attention. But Usmanov back to his movement, back to sticking and moving and scoring frequently on his man with wonderful variety, showing his full repertoire of shots from just about every territory. My goodness, what a display being produced by Bahadur Usmanov here. Slip and then a counter left uppercut on the inside. Both men inaccurate with singles as they attempted to trade off at center ring. First and third boxing from Usmanov once again as he ended the exchange with a wonderfully crisp left jab. So Moafo trying to get himself back into this portion of the round. Inaccurate with the left hook. Tucking up and slipping and sliding on the inside behind the Philly shell defense. But Usmanov keeping the movement going laterally left and right. Now on the front foot, snaps out another jab. The final scoring shot of the round. What a round. Again, Moafo having success with a right hand over the top. But that surely not enough to negate the non-stop punch picking that was produced. There was the right hand success, which was again the most solid shot of the round. But Usmanov's punch output was incessant during the course of that 3-minute stanza. So we move into round number 9. Bahadur Usmanov's first scoring shot of the round is a jolting left jab from him. Moafo comes back with a 1-2 combination to the body, dipping at the knees nicely to exacerbate the difference in height and scoring with those 2 straight punches to Usmanov's torso. Counter right uppercut not too far away from Usmanov after he drew the lead from Moafo, but he was inaccurate with his 2-shot salvo. Look at how that left hand is able to snake its way in between the high-held gloves of Moafo. Moafo aware of that, onto the front foot, but made to swing and miss. Now finds himself pinned against the strands as Usmanov could turn the tables cleverly. But Moafo fights his way off the strands with an effective combination, only to run into more varied shots from Bahadur Usmanov. Again, Usmanov changing angles in front of his man repeatedly. They're stepping off the line back and to his left was Moafo, but then scored upon with a good left jab to the body. Now it's Usmanov who strayed below the belt line. Sporting touch of blood between the two, no harm intended. Back on the jab, but immediately here's Usmanov. Look at that for a double jab, body and head, cracking it out like a whiplash into the target of Christopher Moafo. What can he do to try and slow down this man's punch output? His best punches have been the overhand right to the head. There was an eye-catching one in round 7 which really got the attention of Usmanov. Dipped his knees, made him become momentarily disorganized. I would have thought, given his structure and the repertoire that he possesses, that he scored with a good left hook to the body after he was left hooked upon, he would be wise to attack the body of Usmanov as he's operating out of the half-cover guard here now, tucking his chin behind his left shoulder. But look at the way Usmanov's gloves were able to get behind that right glove. And Moafo, covering up on the ropes, comes off the ropes with a beautiful right cross that was straight and solid down the pipe. But then it's Usmanov scoring once again, counter right hand from Moafo once more. Terrific 2-way action, but for my money, it's Usmanov getting the better of it. Again, that jab has been non-stop. Beautiful lead left hand once more, turning it into a hook, and there it is once again, followed by a right hook around the corner. just a result of years of practice, and to keep pumping out that jab like that, my goodness, Bahadur Usmanov in some shape. Another good round of boxing. Well, wonderful to see that sportsmanship between the two boxers as we enter the 10th and final round. This contest made at 61.2 kilograms, just inside the lightweight limit of 135 pounds. Bahadur Usmanov surely well on the way to retaining that IBA Intercontinental title. He earned last time out on the IBA Pro stage here in May at the Tennis Water Sports Palace. Nice combination, putting Moafo onto the end of straight punches, and surely Moafo needs a stoppage here now. No doubting the man's quality and ring craft. He clearly knows what he's doing up in a boxing ring. Running to an accomplished IBA and indeed professional boxer who's in terrific form here tonight. Again, look at that lead left hand, and that has been his Sunday punch on his Tuesday night of fight action from the Tajikistan capital. Right hand to the body, left hook to the head, not too far away from Moafo. Scored upon with another left jab and another one. My goodness, that left hand has been a constant presence in the face and body of Christopher Moafo. And again, look at Bahadur Usmanov go through the gears. Moafo trying to respond, but he didn't take his feet with him. On the short of the mark. Left hand through the glove, right hand around the rear of the glove, and Bahadur Usmanov with the finish line in sight, really putting his full repertoire on display here now. Scoring beautifully, both upstairs and downstairs. Moafo again showing the competitor that he is, but he's been touched up repeatedly by this blizzard of blue boxing gloves from Bahadur Usmanov. Contemptuously shakes his head, but he's been scored upon heavily by Usmanov with just about every punch in the book. Inside the final minutes of this final round, as a single right hand is slung into the body from Usmanov. Here Moafo scores with a counter right hand over the top. There's a left jab from Moafo. Again, that left jab has been active and accurate all night long from Usmanov. The final 30 seconds of the contest. Moafo only needs a single shot KO here. Show that he's got the armour with which to do it, because in the round 7, he uncoils a left hook to the head, then follows it up with a left hook to the body, digging away with punches from both flanks is Moafo, but he's not going to find the KO finish that he needs. Here's a left hook from Moafo. Bahadur Usmanov content to disengage, and that is because he has just produced a very good display indeed. Wonderful to see that respect between two accomplished operators. There can be little doubt that it's Bahadur Usmanov who will be declared a victor here now. He makes his way over to exchange sentiments with the coaches of his team, of his opponent. Bahadur Usmanov, who was presented with the incentive, as was Christopher Moafo, of a finish before the end of the 5th round. The winner would have been granted a brand new apartment. That is something that Davlat Boltaev was able to take advantage of. The first round stoppage in his super heavyweight contest against Sullivan Adebayo. Bakadir Usmanov producing a very good display, filled with variety, accuracy, activity, because his punch output barely slowed from opening bell to last. Christopher Mwafo demonstrated his abundant quality during the course of the contest. In the presence of the IBA president, Mr. Umar Kremlev, the Al Fiesta man heading up IBA Pro Boxing, will present Bakadir Usmanov with that IBA Intercontinental belt once again. Successful first defense, surely produced by the Olympian Bakadir Usmanov.
Итак, уважаемые дамы и господа, по завершении главного события вечера обратимся к судейским запискам. 98, 92 дважды и 97, 93. Таким образом, единогласным решением судей одержал победу и остается не знающим поражений чемпионом IBA Pro Intercontinental в легком весе Бахадур Усманов.
So Bakadir Usmanov, draped beneath that distinctive Tajikistan flag, the IBA Intercontinental title proudly strapped around his waist. A very good display indeed to be declared a points decision victor over Christopher Mwafo. Standing ovations from the fans in attendance here at the Tennis and Water Sports Palace in Dushanbe. And wonderful to see that respect and sportsmanship between the two. No complaint from Christopher Mwafo. He played his part in what was a really entertaining, high-level affair of quality boxing. But my goodness, Bakadir Usmanov was on it tonight. Incredibly active, varied with his attacks, had his chin checked by a cracking overhand right in the 7th round from Christopher Mwafo. Mwafo showcased his ring generalship, but simply not enough of it in the face of the non-stop sticking and moving from Bakadir Usmanov. Proudly posing with his team who get him ready to fight. He's the man who does the fighting. Even though boxing is the ultimate individual sport, the preparation very much a team effort, and Bakadir Usmanov acknowledging that by sharing this glorious moment of victory with his entire team. Well, let's take a look back at some of the highlights from this contest. As Bakadir Usmanov addresses the crowd here at the Tennis and Water Sports Palace in Dushanbe.
Бахадур Усманов. Дорогие друзья, наш турнир не заканчивается. Нас ждут еще два поединка. Не расходитесь, пожалуйста. Это будут горячие противостояния. Обещаю.